The most dangerous thing about an AI model is not what it knows, it is what it forgets.
And that forgetting is usually about the context window. That is the amount of text the model can actively keep in view while it generates the next answer.
So when programmers hear context window, they should not think magic memory, they should think working space.
Exactly. Not permanent memory, not deep understanding, not a hidden database. More like the model's current desk space. If the desk is full, something has to slide off.
Why should a developer care? If the answer looks smart, who cares how big the desk is?
Because that desk decides whether the model can follow your spec, remember earlier constraints, see the code you pasted, and stay consistent across a long interaction.
Give me a real scenario.
You paste a backend handler, then a schema, then logging output. Then you say, do not change the API response shape. 10 messages later, the model rewrites the endpoint and breaks the response contract because that earlier rule is no longer in view.
So the model did not betray you. It literally lost the plot.
Right. And that matters more as tasks get expensive. In a toy demo, forgetting is annoying. In production, forgetting can mean broken tests, bad migrations, security mistakes, or just hours of cleanup.
This is where the power shift happens, right? The developer who understands context windows gets leverage, and the one who does not ends up blaming the model for chaos.
Yes, people think prompting is just wording. A lot of the game is budgeting attention. What must stay visible? What can be summarized? What should be retrieved only when needed?
Now define the limit part clearly. What does it mean to hit the context window limit?
It means the total input plus the model's output can only fit up to a certain size in that active workspace. If the conversation or pasted material gets too large, the system has to trim, compress, reject, or ignore something.
And from the user side, what does that feel like?
A few common patterns. The model forgets instructions from earlier. It answers only the last chunk of a long document. It starts contradicting itself. Or the app says your prompt is too long and refuses the request.
Give me another concrete example, but not code this time.
Imagine you ask for a summary of a long product requirements doc, then discuss edge cases, then ask for a launch email that must match the original positioning. If the original positioning has fallen out of context, the email may sound polished, but drift from the actual product strategy.
That is sneaky. It fails in a way that looks competent.
That is the risk. Context failures are often smooth failures. The output can be fluent, confident, and wrong, in exactly the place you needed consistency.
Let's hit a common misunderstanding, because I hear this all the time. Bigger context window means the model is smarter.
Not necessarily. Bigger context means it can keep more material in play at once. That is useful, but it does not magically improve reasoning quality, truthfulness, or judgment. A bigger whiteboard helps, but it does not give you a better engineer.
So, if someone says, this model has a huge context window, the right reaction is not, wow, genius. It is more like, okay, it can juggle more.
Exactly. And sometimes developers misuse that advantage. They dump entire repos, giant logs, and every note they have into one prompt, then wonder why the answer gets muddy. More context can also mean more noise.
That feels like a strategic mistake. The winner is not the person who pastes the most. It is the person who decides what deserves scarce attention.
That is a great way to put it. Good AI usage is often context management. Keep the task clear, preserve critical constraints, summarize old material, and bring in fresh details only when they matter.
One more example, because this is where new programmers get burned.
Say you are building a coding assistant into your app. A user has a long session. Early on they specify, use TypeScript, no external libraries, and target Node 18. Later they ask for a final refactor. If your system does not preserve those constraints inside the active context, the assistant may casually return JavaScript with a package you banned.
And then the team says, the model is unreliable, when really the product forgot to carry forward the rules.
Right. Context window limits are not just a model detail. They shape product design, cost, latency, and trust. If you ignore them, your AI feature will look smarter in demos than it does in real use.
So the mental model is simple. The context window is the model's active workspace, and every token in that workspace is competing for attention.
Yes, understand that, and you stop treating AI like a mind reader. You start treating it like a system with limited working memory. And once you do that, better results stop looking like luck.